Yep.
Hey, Bryant. Welcome back.
Yep.
And a special guest back as well is...
Owen Schumacher.
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
We're talking.
And welcome to the 7th podcast of the PryantandBat Prodcast Hourn.
Dare I say, episode...
What episode is it, actually?
7.
Okay.
My favorite number, actually.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because all three of my names, Patrick, William, Delaney, have 7 letters in them.
You know, the FBI's watching you now.
So your full name in totality is 21. Blackjack 21.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lucky...
So, did you, sit down and figure this out one day?
Yeah, I think I did, actually. Probably 10 years old.
How bored and or high were you?
I was plenty bored, I'm assuming.
This
not
is
high.
pre-girlfriend days.
Pre-girlfriend days.
Were you high on Hershey bars and Fritos?
I did love her. I still love Hershey bars, so the likelihood is very high with
There's
that
something
one.
about the plain chocolate Hershey bar that really hits the spot.
It does.
It really is great.
Yeah.
Sheldon was telling me a few days ago that you have you used to have a Yoo-hoo addiction, or you used to drink Yoo-hoo all the time.
You know, I don't think I had an addiction. I think the one time we went one time.
You could have quit at any time, right?
Yeah, I could have. I still could quit. just wait, guys. Give me a chance. But one time we went into, I believe it was Rite Aid, and I saw a Yoo-hoo, and I hadn't seen a Yoo-hoo in years, and so I bought it. And I think that is what stems from this apparent addiction.
Yeah, I think the idea of Yoo-hoo is better than actual Yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
You're craving chocolate milk when you see it, and then when you drink it, you go, is this even a dairy product?
Yeah.
Well, isn't it not a dairy product?
It seems like it has a lot of water in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very watered down.
Yeah.
But isn't there, no dairy
Probably not.
to it?
But
Yeah, that's what it seems
unless they change the formula. I haven't had it probably since the one time I had it with Sheldon. So.
Mm-hmm.
Should we even talk about sponsors?
It's up to you, man.
I don't know, I'm kind of over the sponsor thing.
But
I think it started to get too long-winded.
we had to remember a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was too many.
It was becoming a bit, and we can't have bits.
No.
No.
We're too much of an anti-show
Yeah.
to do that.
We're jazz musicians.
Yeah, this is very avant-garde.
Yeah.
This
so
is postmodern.
it is.
It is. It's Pomo.
Well, maybe you'll just start the theme.
The
Which,
theme.
wait a minute, actually that was your old jazz musician name, Pomo.
Pomo.
Yeah, you can call me Pomo.
Sounds more like a blues man. But
There's some crossover.
Yeah, there is some crossover. But
Get a little pomo.
I think that means that we're gonna have to do the theme in Pomo voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to do an old jazz musician kind of thing.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pomo, everybody.
Talk about a little bit of pomo.
Na 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 na. Yeah.
Talk about real relaxing.
Prodcast Hourn.
Get a little bit smooth.
Was that a Rams? That a Rams?
The Entertainer by Scott Joplin.
That was some hot ragtime music there.
I think we're gonna get picked up by is it KCSULB or whatever? What is it?
K-Jazz, isn't it?
Yeah, K-Jazz.
Yeah.
K-Jazz. So we're gonna be a subsidiary show
Yeah, I do get the feeling that they are listening to us right now.
because when they're not doing their shows, they got to listen to something.
Well, they're doing a pledge drive right now, man.
Oh, they are.
I don't know. Well, aren't they?
They
always?
could be a sponsor.
Well, isn't that the thing with all public
Right.
broadcasting?
Yeah, it's like an electronics store with the going out of business sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are chronically going out of business.
It's like Crazy Gideon's only radio.
Yeah, he's been going out of business for 10 years, Crazy Gideon.
I haven't seen a Crazy Gideon commercial in probably at least 5 years. But then again, I don't really watch TV.
I always liked it when he would bring on the babes, like he would have, for whatever reason, a lady dressed as a sexy nurse.
Wow.
It was odd.
To nurse him back to health. To nurse the prices back up.
Well, yeah, I mean, she needs that, $20 Nintendo from 1986,
So who is Crazy Gideon? I actually have no knowledge of him.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you would ever watch TV late at night in Southern California, maybe Northern California too, who knows, you would see this guy named Crazy Gideon, and he had this mysterious, maybe Eastern European accent.
Oh.
And he
with
would
a name
say,
like Gideon.
"You got to buy my VCRs,"
And everything was like these electronics were all. It was like you could buy a VCR back in the day for like $15 and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, who knows? Gideon could have been like buying stuff from like bank or like people would rob people's houses.
And then there was a really silly jingle. He may be crazy, but he's not stupid. And Crazy Gideon.
And he would hit himself over the head with like VCRs too.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Gallagher thing. It was pop comedy. Yeah,
and because he was crazy.
Well, Crazy
you
Gideon.
just couldn't believe it.
What a biblical name!
Yeah, he would go, "I'm crazy." He would do that,
or he's hemorrhaging.
Or he would like hit a TV with a baseball bat just to prove that he has so many good deals.
Wow.
Yeah,
that he could just dispense with. The TVs were expendable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how many he has on deck.
Wow. I'm going to have to look this up.
He was a genius. I miss him.
Is this YouTubeable?
Oh,
maybe.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find anything on there.
That actually...
But I think we don't see him anymore because he actually sexually assaulted one of the nurses. Because he's crazy. Actually, one of the nurses refused to buy a VCR.
What they forgot to say is that he's criminally insane.
Oh man! But that just doesn't have that catch to it,
No, criminally insane Gideons.
He's actually got life in an institution.
It becomes like a pity thing. I'm sure he's still selling the VCRs. It's just like on like a garage sale style thing on the front lawn of the
he's like
hospital.
a mob boss. He's selling VCRs from jail instead of drugs.
Yeah. He's in a straitjacket in a cuckoo's nest type institution and talking about how he's got a discount on VCRs for you.
Like the chief, instead of picking up the sink out of the ground, throwing it through the window, threw a VCR out of the rec room in the insane asylum.
JVC! Phillips, brand new!
How many people what percentage of the United States do you think still buys VCRs?
I think 0.
You think well,
I think people still use VCRs.
Yeah. But they still sell turntables.
They're going to become cool again with
I'm
certain segments of society.
Well, cassettes, I mean, normal like cassettes you put in your car, those are for some reason sort of making a comeback.
Yeah. I saw actually someone. It was at a show in front of a loft in Silver Lake. Who knew it would be there?
Silver Lake,
they had a suitcase full of tapes of their band. So and it was a split because it always is a split.
Yeah.
It's never a full album. It's a split.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a suitcase full of them, selling them for like $4.
Well, Frusciante's on his A game because he released his last album.
He
on
would.
Cassette.
He would.
But I'm not gonna lie, it's a really cool looking cassette because it's like purple and like green. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool.
It looks like one of the old Strawberry Shortcake Kids albums.
It looks like
or the Garbage Pail Kids.
Lisa Frank or Barney the Dinosaur or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Inspirations.
So, are we going to do lightning rounds at the top of the hour here? We only have 1 hour.
Well, we have a lot of lightning round because we're all going to lightning round each other. And it's going to be a lightning three-way.
It's going to be a lightning round gangbang.
There's a lot of electricity, I assume, between us.
We pretty much have Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, and
Superstar Billy Graham
and Adrian Street,
man,
who's actually from a different promotion, but he thought he'd drop by.
Who did Adrian Street wrestle for?
He wrestled for back then. Those guys wrestled for everybody.
Yeah.
So you weren't tied down.
That was the Wild West.
It was. And it's funny that you say that, because when you hear like those old timers talk about it, they're like, "Oh man, it was the Wild West," So you were right on par there.
And Dusty liked to dress like a cowboy every once in a while.
A fat cowboy with that hat.
Did you know that Dusty, I think, is 66 or 67?
Yeah.
And he still wrestles.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really?
Wow. He's a big dude.
But he still does like the super barbaric like barbed wire stuff.
Really?
Well, you got to do it.
How are his knees?
Pay the bills.
No, they're shot.
Yeah.
He's like the McFoley.
Yeah, usually it's the knees that go.
The McFoley, now available at Chick-fil-A.
Now, when you bite into it, does it squirt out with blood? Is it really violent?
No, there's like tacks in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultra-violence.
And you actually get chokeslammed through a cage when you buy one.
That's a perk. That's a perk.
It's like a terrorist bomb. It blows up and fires shrapnel at you. Yeah.
The nail bomb, now available at Chick-fil-A. The jihad.
Mm-hmm.
We really like pitching ideas for fast food, don't we? Because I remember one episode we were talking about Burger King and the gangbang.
Yeah.
The McGang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think food marketing is all about being extreme now.
Yeah.
Like you see like Cheetos or something like that, and it's like a dude, or I think it was Corn Nuts, and it's like two guys driving around in a monster truck, like jumping over buses and stuff, and that's what it's like to eat Corn Nuts.
Yeah.
Apparently, I mean that's what they're saying.
I guess you got to go big or go home, as they say.
Corn nuts can do that to you. Sometimes when you put them in your mouth, it feels like flying over a series of cars below you.
School buses. Empty school buses.
Well, they actually did a lot of psychological analysis. They were doing testing, and they're asking people. It's like, what is it? The ink blots,
Rorschach.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. They're asking, how do you feel after eating Corn Nuts?
And funnily enough, all these people came from like South Texas.
Yeah, they're like, I feel like I'm in Gravedigger. I'm flying over some buses, bro.
And that's how they got their marketing.
And one guy said he was in Bigfoot versus Gravedigger.
Yeah, that was
a different interpretation.
That was monumental.
I'm feeling more Bigfoot, man.
Did anybody beat Bigfoot?
I don't think so. I don't think even Gravedigger could take on Bigfoot. Wasn't Bigfoot the absolute best?
I don't know. I thought Gravedigger was cooler. Though.
How do you judge monster truck rallies like that? Is it how many cars they can crumble, or
it was just a race? Wasn't it a simple race?
Oh, it's a race.
Sometimes they would have a drag race where they would literally go maybe like 100 yards, but they go over a few cars or something like that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, over to the finish line. That's all they would do. They would go over cars to the finish line.
But a lot of the times they would just flip over because monster trucks have like 1,500 horsepower. And there's like so much torque that they just flip over.
I'm getting it mixed up with a demolition derby where it's like destroy everybody in the.
Yeah, I think in a demolition derby, I think the guy remaining who has his car running. Yeah. Like whoever has an engine that works at the end of the race wins.
That is a Corn Nut sponsor, if there ever was one.
Yeah. Do they still have those? That'd be pretty fun to go see.
Yeah, that would be fun to go see.
I mean, they don't have anything like that in California anymore. That was kind of like a late 80s, early 90s type of thing.
Phenomena. Yeah.
That was a Reagan administration type of thing.
That's how they got out their angst, man. Demolition derby.
That was a true period of America where we really were patriots. Mm-hmm. Where we just ate Corn Nuts and watched monster truck
Revolutionary War, monster truck rallies.
Yeah. There's actually like about 150 years that skipped in all of the history texts that students have nowadays in K through 12.
Mm-hmm. Gravedigger, right next to Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, it's funny.
There's actually pictures of Thomas Jefferson driving a Gravedigger.
It's funny that coming out of the Vietnam era, where we were so cynical and disheartened from what we were doing over there, and what a waste of time and energy, and it was a big amount of life loss. And then from that, we go into the 80s and this euphoric nationalism. It's weird that we did that about face and just moved into a totally different atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, but I think I would say that it doesn't make sense, but it's like it is cyclical. I think a lot of things, even with hair, like how I've noticed that same kind of thing about hair.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it was you weren't supposed to have long hair still, but you'd have these like business guys that were on Wall Street that they had really thick hair that like stuck out the side. It was combed appropriately, but it was like huge,
kind of a Charles Bronson bubble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And now, and then 10 years later, it was, you have to have it short and cropped, again,
Right.
Just like it was the 50s.
Well, what about how the skinny tie is back?
Yeah. And I'm sure it'll, in 10 more years, the fat tie will be back.
I can't wait for the fat tie. I do enjoy fat ties.
Or the bolo tie. That would be pretty interesting.
Do you remember when the Gravedigger had a mullet?
What was it made out of?
You mean on the very car itself?
Yeah, on the car.
Was it made out of pony hair?
And Gravedigger nowadays actually has a skinny tie. And they
cleaned him up.
Instead of mud flaps, he has skinny jeans.
Oh, man.
He's sponsored by the Gap now.
And
Yeah.
he's not a gravedigger anymore. He's a mortician.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Man, that isn't nearly as intimidating.
But it's more respected, and that's what counts.
And the
these
driver
days.
now looks like the lead singer of Maroon 5. He's skinny with little tattoos everywhere. Yeah.
He's very hip.
And Bigfoot wears beetle boots. His little zipper boots.
And a yellow rain jacket. Even on the hot
Totally
days.
cool.
And he's sponsored by Trojan. Anyways. Let's do lightning round.
Let's do it. Okay.
Who wants to go first? Should the guest go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
Now, do you know how our lightning rounds work?
He's heard the podcast.
Yeah. I'm going to actually, as opposed to Patrick, keep my lightning rounds quick. Because yours get a little bogged down. No offense. So I'm actually going to treat this as if it were lightning
Wow.
and strike quickly.
Now, do we both answer, right?
No. I don't know. You want me to toggle back and forth? Because I have questions for you, and then I have questions for Patrick.
Man.
I don't know. Like, my questions were, I was just going to address it to both of you.
Really?
Yeah, mine were going to be open-ended, where you could just shout whatever. Because mine are short.
So I actually had ones for each of you, like custom tailored ones.
Well, okay.
That's actually that's very nice of you.
Oh,
okay.
As the guest to bring a gift like that.
Okay, well let's follow the guest rules.
Okay, here we go. I'll start with Brian.
I can't look at your
Shoes off in the house.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay. Lightning round starting now. Lemmy era Hawkwind.
I never listened to it too much. However, I did like when Lemmy used to play guitar. That was pretty cool.
Post Lemmy Hawkwind.
Haven't listened to too much of that either. But I do like when Lemmy started Motorhead.
Ginger or Marianne?
Marianne, for sure.
What former Can frontman Malcolm Mooney is doing now?
Busking? I'm not sure. Because I know Suzuki.
He took over Suzuki's busking duties.
Well, I know Suzuki. He kind of busked for a while after Can and before. I don't know.
Mila Kunis as Esquire magazine's sexiest woman alive.
Overrated.
Transhumanism, good or bad?
Good because it's the only direction we can take at this point. We can't reverse it.
Women going commando, cool?
Dress or no dress? Or am I answering a question with a question?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's got a dress, but she's going commando. Is that cool?
No.
So it's just scuzzy. Kind of gross.
I don't think it's gross, but I think for her protection, there's paparazzi. I don't know. You don't want to end up on a meme.
Okay. Are we doomed?
I don't know how to answer this because are we doomed as a society in terms of war, in terms of morally?
Just
where we're going?
our condition as a human race.
No.
Gravedigger is coming. Are we doomed? That's the question.
Well, Gravedigger has a skinny tie now, so I have hope for society.
Okay, that was my last question for you. Okay, Pat.
Okay.
Hotter Zeus girlfriend, Leto or Hera?
Wasn't Leto the victim of rape?
She might have been. So what? Answer the question.
Oh man, honestly, I think
Actually, weren't they all victims
yeah,
of rape?
that's the
They
thing.
all got raped.
So it's not. None of them are like.
Yeah.
I feel bad calling any of them hot, but
like Daphne got raped too. Remember
Out of the-
when he turned into the swan?
yeah, and just he's a wily little devil.
He was a rapist, and yet he was their god. So
Yeah.
their god was a rapist.
It's gotta, when you do worship, that's
This
gotta
is a-
do
Okay.
take toll. But Arrow is my answer.
Here, the
Just
host
out
is
of-
interacting with the contestant right now. Okay.
That's how we do it.
Wait, what did you say?
Era.
Okay. Better economy right now, Canada or U.S.?
I would think Canada, because the U.S. dollar, I think, is falling by the day.
Taj Mahal, the building, or Taj Mahal, the blues artist?
The blues artist.
Did OJ do it?
Yes.
Is Khloe Kardashian OJ's secret daughter?
The tabloids would love it if that was true. So I'm going to say yes. To keep them
Adrian
in
Brody.
business. What was it? Adrian Brody? No. I think he's good in some things, including the commercial for razors.
Adrian Brody's nose.
Good in bed.
No problem with it. No problem with it.
Malia Obama when she's legal.
I guess she'll just have to find a nice young man that'll walk up to the, office and wherever his post-presidential office will be.
Okay. So no interest of your own.
No, not at all.
Sure.
I don't like riding coattails. They gotta
Okay,
be my
that's it.
coattails.
Those were mine.
I like that.
Okay, are you gonna go next?
Am I gonna? Okay, sure. So
So now we can both answer.
Yes.
Okay.
So feel free to just let it go.
Do we have buzzers?
No.
It feels like we should have them.
We're gonna work on the honor system. So if you
Should I just raise my hand?
Yeah.
This is like taboo. We should have the buzzer thing.
Bam. Yeah.
so I'm just gonna say them because I don't know. I think that's gonna be more effective. Junk.
In the trunk.
This country's full of it.
Okay. Smack.
It should be legal.
What Ric Flair does to Jesse Ventura.
Stroke.
Billy Squire. One of the best songs ever written.
What a legal age Malia Obama will do to me.
Submissions.
Chael Sonnen, not too good at getting out of him.
What he said.
Hard rock or rock hard.
Both at the same time.
Amelia Obama. Second, the latter.
Favorite non-primary or secondary colors.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Favorite non-primary or secondary colors.
Oh,
Violet?
orange.
Highest thing you've ever
Wait,
fallen
is
off.
Violet tertiary?
Oh, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, violet is secondary.
Oh, shit. Trying to think of a tertiary color.
Like red, purple.
Like red, purple?
Highest thing you've ever fallen off of.
A fence. It was maybe about 8 to 10 feet.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't think of anything either. Lewis and Clark.
Wait, probably just down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, I have fallen down the stairs. Lewis and Clark.
They did a good job.
Excellent lovers.
The zombie infatuation.
Boring.
Whole grain.
What?
Whole grain. It's like wheat. It's like wheat
Oh,
bread.
okay,
It's boring.
Talk about the second most uncomfortable interaction after the news anchors talking to each other, which is the Jeopardy question and answer session after the first commercial break.
I think it is awesome. It is terrific TV.
I think that's the only reason to watch the news.
And Jeopardy. And that is my lightning round.
Good.
Okay.
I'll clap to that. Owen.
So
I'll clap with myself.
I guess this is gonna go to both of you guys.
That's lightning in the background. I thought I should add that.
He's unfurling the scroll right now. He's broken the seventh seal.
The thunder is rolling.
Okay. Terry Funk.
A true Renaissance man.
Terrific.
Terrific Terry Funk. A little known first wrestling name of Terry Funk.
N64.
Not my first love, but one of many older flames.
The only video game system I owned.
So it was a fling.
It was a hot tryst.
And I loved it. So I was cuckolded by Owen's. Christ, I assume.
Is it a tryst or a tryst?
It could be both. And whatever it was dirty, and I hate you for it.
Depends how hot it was.
Yeah. The soft eye.
I think tryst implies moist.
It's, yeah, probably.
David Carradine. Also moist.
Now he is.
What were some of his roles? Was he in Nerds? Was he the Carradine in Nerds?
No, I think that's Keith Carradine, his son. David Carradine is Frankenstein.
Oh, the David Carradine.
Yeah, Kung Fu.
Underrated.
I honestly have no familiarity with him aside from like Kill Bill. So, I guess.
Brock Lesnar.
Glad he's gone.
Huge mammoth of a man, and you know, I'm sure he's glad he's gone too.
Well, he's mounting his wife right now.
Well,
He had a Coors.
Yeah, I was thinking, what was the beer that he
Drink a Coors Light.
Rivers Cuomo.
Pretty cool.
I agree.
Soundwave.
The Transformer?
Yeah.
Really cool. Cooler than
Yeah.
Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna go with Rivers Cuomo on that one.
You want to fight about it? Yeah. Do you want to do some Indian leg wrestling, right?
Thumb wrestle.
Terry Funkin style.
Sword fight. I think Soundwave had the best figure
Yeah,
out
it
of
was
all
a great
of them,
figure.
where he literally did turn into like a
Yeah.
little tape.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, his little pterodactyl friend would turn into the tape, and then you can put the tape into...
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it was badass.
And you go through an aisle at Toys R Us now, and the toys just aren't that cool.
No, they aren't.
They were a lot cooler back then.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hall.
Depressing.
Yeah, I saw a documentary on him recently, and he's worse off than ever.
I was actually watching that earlier.
Did you see it?
Tonight.
It was so awful.
Yeah. He killed a man.
He did.
Scott Hall killed a
Yeah,
man.
he
He
did kill
shot
a
a man in the head.
And that's not something that, like, when you're trying to rehabilitate your image, comes out.
Wasn't it with the attacker's gun?
Yeah.
And he turned the gun
he
on
was,
him?
He was working as a bouncer, and he wrestled a gun out of the guy's hands and shot him in the head.
Yeah.
Scott Hall killed a man.
And he looks all bloated and distended now. He looks really rough.
Yeah.
He was a pretty handsome guy.
Yeah, he was.
He's still a gentle lover, though.
You know that firsthand?
Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, man. One of the few people that I would like to eliminate from music. Popular music.
It's harsh.
A drunk wife's best friend.
See? Owen's an optimist. Grateful Dead.
I'm grateful Jerry Garcia's dead.
That was actually a lyric from, what's that band called? Ian MacKay's first band called the Teen Idols. They had a lyric just like that.
Yeah.
You went from being really right to being... Wow.
I
got
influenced
dark.
him. The
No,
sphere of influence.
actually, he seemed like a great guy. It's just that his music was terrible.
I actually read that. I read that he isn't a great guy.
Really? He wasn't?
No, he like cheated on all of his wives and was
Oh.
a crazy maniac. And
Well, he seemed like a hang loose, no cares kind of guy.
It was that kind of times back then, I guess. maybe now the wives that were scorned are feeling rage, but back then they were just like whatever.
Yeah.
Free love.
That's just Jerry, man.
Wait a minute. What was your answer though?
Well, my answer is that I think they're just one of those things that it's a huge marketing campaign now, because like Dick's Picks, those like live albums that come out, it just record everything and sell it to fans. It's kind of I'm sure the fans love it.
I wonder who's in charge of his estate right now.
Yeah,
I think it's his first wife.
the Tiger guitar.
Nolan Ryan.
He threw a mean fastball.
7 no-hitters. Unbreakable record.
He's no Tommy Lasorda.
Same with.
Did he have a baseball game? Did Nolan Ryan have it? He should have.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did. I don't know whether it was good or not.
Yeah.
I never played it if there was one.
No.
I think he had a PC game that wasn't successful.
The worst.
Yeah.
The most insulting.
It was a
thing.
Commodore 64 game.
Or one of those Tiger electronic games that you buy for like $10 at
Yeah,
I think
Target.
it was called Fastball.
With the LCD display.
Oh, man.
Did it ever happen to you that one of those screens would get screwed up?
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
it would just look blurry and broken? you
Yeah.
know? And you couldn't do anything with it. You
I had
just
a-
have to throw it away.
I had a Madden football one, and
Yeah.
the left half of the screen looked like someone like poured mercury on the
Right,
on the
yeah.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we still have a working Ninja Gaiden.
Right. And it was talking. It actually speaks to you. Like
Yeah,
a Ouija board.
But
Wow.
it sounds like a robot having sex. It's really weird. It's like, "Meow, next stage. Meow."
And also it plays MIDI Grateful Dead files.
Yeah. There's like a little MIDI guitar song.
I will
survive. Mew, 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 mew.
Don Rickles.
Awesome. Terrific.
Yeah.
A show business legend.
And he had one of the few commercials that I've laughed at in the last year or so with the Snickers one. Good work, Don Rickles.
Always funny. And he tells classic stories about
Like it is.
Sinatra and Dean Martin and all those guys.
Yeah, they paid him in Snickers.
Which are actually laughs.
And
Yeah,
little
because he
Snickers.
would give Snickers 4 Snickers.
Except he has diabetes now
Oh, he does? Poor man.
from the Snickers. Anyways,
Old Jews are awesome. Let me just say that. They rock.
Ted Danson.
A chin to behold.
It's not possible to overrate him.
Did you know that he has a Japanese chin, the dog?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he breeds them. Wow, okay. Ultimate Warrior.
Fun to watch, totally insane.
I was never actually a fan of his when I was a kid. I know a lot of kids were fans of his, but I was never a fan of his.
But he had those lime green streamers on his arms.
Yeah. I got the appeal, but I just was never a fan
You
myself.
understood the appeal.
Yeah.
He was like a monster truck in human form.
He was. He was like a human monster truck.
A human monster truck in the bed. Because he'd last like 3 minutes and he'd be over with.
You know, his nickname in the sack was the Gravedigger.
He would mow you down and go right to the finish line.
Switzerland.
Very neutral. I am neutral on Switzerland.
I'd like to go there and see the snow.
James Page.
Jimmy Page, also known as Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
Can you overrate him? I don't think you can.
A little sloppy, but ultimately very listenable.
I agree with that
Okay.
assessment.
The solo from Heartbreaker.
Ooh, there you go. That's you just have to repeat your last answer.
Yeah. A little sloppy, but very listenable.
I wouldn't say a little.
Very, very sloppy.
And some semi-listenable.
And somewhat
It doesn't
listenable.
age very well.
No, it doesn't. But nothing beats Zach Wilde and Slash doing a cover of
Voodoo Child
Voodoo Child.
from what was that? 1999.
If you want,
That's
if you ever want to
amazing.
hear more noodles than a chop suey house, to Chinese restaurant, more noodling. This is definitely it.
You know, I often hear noodles when I'm in a Chinese noodle house.
They play Zach Wild.
If you want more noodles than a Maruchan.
Yeah, more noodles than a Maruchan, definitely.
Mario Kart.
It started it all.
Yeah, and it's still the original's still fun. You don't even need the more advanced versions.
You know, the sequels, they would try to handicap the way the race goes too much. Where they joke that you never want to be in front. You never want to be first.
Yeah.
You only want to be first, last 5 seconds of the race when you zoom past everyone. But otherwise, when you're in first, you're the most vulnerable.
Yeah, it's that rubber band AI.
And it wasn't really that way in the first incarnation. So that's why that one is the most balanced.
But and also one last point about Mario Kart. I saw it was like a advertisement billboard for, I'm assuming it's another Mario Kart game that's coming out, and they had like hang gliders, and I thought that's kind of counterproductive to the name. Mario Kart.
That's not a kart anymore.
No, it's a Mario Glide. Which is an excellent porn star name.
I wonder if
Mario
you hold up like the Wii controller like this. You're gliding around.
That'd be interesting.
Mario Glide is known for his grave digging. He used to work odd jobs. One time he was a grave digger.
Oh, man.
Mario Truck. Crying.
Cathartic.
An excellent song by Roy Orbison.
And Aerosmith.
Oof. Yeah, I guess.
The Boss.
Same as the old boss. Oh no, that's the new boss. Damn.
Bruce Springsteen has his moments, but he's kind of like The Cure. You like 3 songs of his, and his albums are basically awful.
I was actually talking about Hugo.
Hugo Boss? Beautiful SS uniforms.
He really did do a good job.
The SS uniforms are gorgeous.
And him and VW really did a lot for the Nazis. They did a good job.
Yeah.
VW made some beautiful, what are those track vehicles? Some track tanks.
Well, do you think it was under threat of death that they did that? Or just for the German cause?
I think it's for the German cause.
Some of them were true believers, but you didn't have the option to disobey. If you disobeyed, you would be killed.
Yeah.
So you had to do it. You had to be a good German.
Yeah.
And
so you had to make good uniforms and good cars.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do something, you might as well do the best you can, even though it's for terrible human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that aesthetic, that good work ethic.
Big Boss Man.
He unfortunately died fairly recently.
Yeah, last couple of years.
We really like pro wrestlers.
You didn't have to mention he died.
Well,
I'm only saying what comes to mind. This is the lightning round.
We could also mention that I wasn't a fan of him because I know how you love when I have that.
How
answer.
are you not a fan of the Big Boss Man?
He
had a nightstick and he would hit you in the knee.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know a lot of wrestling fans that were, maybe I was just this really atypical fan at the time that I didn't like guys that were just like gimmicks, the cop or the dentist.
A pro wrestling snob.
I was
when you were 8 years old.
I was.
Big Boss Man actually went away for sexual assault before he died.
You're sullying the name. Of Big Boss.
3 strikes and you're out, Big Boss Man.
Okay, next on the list. Muse.
Oh, the guys who did the Blondie cover.
They did a Blondie cover? Wow.
Oh,
No.
I liked them.
We shall be victorious. Call me. They do that riff. They do that riff that sounds like Blondie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow, I dislike them even more.
You know that they actually have something of a following with libertarians and anti-government types?
Really?
Yeah, because apparently there's a defiant streak to the music. And people of that sort are picking up on it, and so they have this special connection with that music.
It's Muse and Crass fans.
Yeah.
Did you know that their new album is called Atlas Shrugged?
I thought it was going to be some kind of pun, but it's just Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah.
They lost their clever.
It's called My Struggle.
Oh man.
Vegetables.
Pat has never eaten one.
I won't say that I'm a fan of vegetables, but I like some.
Oh, wait a minute. Big Boss Man or vegetables?
I like vegetables over Big Boss Man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't think I've ever seen you eat a vegetable before. To be
Tomatoes?
honest.
That's another thing we should do on the show. We should make Pat eat a vegetable
Yeah,
on the
like
show.
we'll just bring out a celery stalk. Just a big hunk of broccoli.
I'd be willing to do it for the podcast.
Now, yeah, we have word from Sheldon. We were talking to him last night that when you guys were going to St. John Bosco,
Yes, St. John Bosco High School. Yeah.
you only ate ham sandwiches. That's all you ever ate.
Yeah, well, turkey sandwiches.
Okay.
I'm not a ham person.
Okay. But never was there a side of vegetables or fruits or anything of the sort. It was just a sandwich with a cold cut in
It would be a sandwich with lettuce. So
Okay.
there was a little green in there.
So you got some iceberg.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just water. That's not a real vegetable.
At the end of the day, aren't we all just water? Isn't everything?
What are you, Bruce Lee? Rap music.
Great for Christmas.
Holidays in general, but I think it's lost some of its luster.
WRAP, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pet Shop Boys. Great holiday music.
They did West End Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Really butch, super butch. Some of the butchest music I've ever heard. Right up there with Slayer.
Pretty good.
Just music you just want to destroy someone too.
Yeah.
You know, remember when Brock Lesnar would come out to West End Girls? He's got the knife on his chest.
Man, that image. That's the image that launched 1,000 ships.
He's a guy who has no sense of humor.
No.
He would never do that. I don't know whether he's got the smarts to have a sense of humor. It's like he doesn't understand irony or anything.
Yeah.
He's a very straightforward, literal guy.
Yeah. And you need those types in the world, but I just, you're right. But you'd think especially working in pro wrestling, you think he would have gotten that he would have acquired that education a little bit.
Well, actually, Brock is actually in a snowstorm right now, hitting a monster truck tire with a sledgehammer while listening to Pet Shop Boys.
For no reason.
Yeah.
It's not producing any work.
Yeah.
It's not like chopping down a tree or something.
No,
it's
he's
like,
just slamming a tire with a sledgehammer.
honey, I'm going to go outside and hit a tire for a couple hours.
Did you know that for his anniversary with his wife, he hired the Pet Shop Boys to perform live for her as a gift?
Did you know that for their anniversary,
The Pet Shop Boys hired Brock Lesnar
he grounded...
to beat up everybody.
I was gonna say he ground and pounded his wife because that's the only opponent he can beat.
Oh man! His record, as he's retired, is it a winning record or is it?
No, it's a winning record. I think it's 5-3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. He went out a winner.
The real winning record is for Dana for marketing him like a maniac.
Making millions of dollars. He's the true winner.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where you just look at the guy and the marketing almost writes itself.
Right.
Yeah.
But it obviously you have to have some manpower behind it. And
I bet UFC expanded its viewership a lot.
Oh yeah,
through him.
That's
just because of him. And I think strategically, from a businessman perspective, that's why he did it.
And it's not like his fights were bad either.
No.
And it's not like he was terrible. I mean, he beat Frank Mir, he beat Randy Couture.
Right. It wasn't embarrassing.
Shane Carwin.
It's just that the hype got nauseating. That was the problem.
Yeah. But I think it was fun. I thought it was fun.
And
yeah.
Don't you think that I've actually heard rumors that they're talking again. And don't you think that Dana would take him back in a second?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because he did sell tickets. I mean, it, like what you said, you just take a look at him and the marketing does itself. He really is just an absolute gorilla of a man.
The poster that they had for him against
Overeem?
like that was a huge post. Like it was really well done. Very simple, but
And
you know
just
their
two-
weights, their heights, and all that stuff, and
Just two disgustingly large men.
yeah, ready to kill each other.
And what's the latest on Overeem? Is he ever going to fight again?
I think his 1-year suspension is almost up from, doing the steroids or, testosterone or whatever, eating horse meat. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's almost up, and I really don't know what's going on with him, but I'm sure right the second that they can get him back in, they will.
Yeah, and he'll come in with a chip on his shoulder, so that's another thing to still fight.
I don't think he cares.
Yeah, but
Isn't he Dutch? What
Yeah.
country is
Yeah,
he
he's
from?
Dutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, isn't he Swiss? And then that would be a reference to Switzerland.
no,
By the way, are we...
I have
Over?
one. I have
Are we
one
done?
left.
Okay.
I have one left.
it better be a good one.
Here,
It's the
I
ultimate.
forget what it is. Let me unfold this.
Oh, no.
Smell-o-vision.
It has potential.
I was actually at Disneyland, and there I experienced a little bit of smell-o-vision on the Bugs Life attraction.
Really?
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with how they did it. But Disneyland, so much money goes in there that it's almost not impressive when they
Yeah.
come up with something really interesting. But yeah, there was one part where I think it was a stink bug or something like that. It sprayed you, and you could. But I didn't smell anything. I guess they probably couldn't mess around with that too much because people might complain.
I wonder if anyone is ready for pornographic smell-o-vision.
Wasn't someone? I think Josh was telling us that was coming, but
It sounds like a thing that might already exist in like Japan or something like
that's
that.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, Japan's already done it. It's like Simpsons did it. Japan did it.
I think Japan's done it all.
Between Simpsons and Japan, everything has been done.
that's a good thousands of years to do it all. So it's not bad.
I think I'm going to do something that's a first for the podcast.
Which is
I really have to pee, like really bad.
Oh,
And
great.
it's getting like really uncomfortable.
so one of the podcast hosts is leaving the pod for a moment.
Well, you're not going to be alone.
I know, but you're relinquishing your power to me. So I am higher on the hierarchy as soon as you walk out that door. And then when you
You're
return,
on-
I will return to number
You're
2.
on my turf, though.
That's true.
I've got home court advantage.
Yeah, well, I got Brock Lesnar.
Wow, that's my cue to leave. You gotta pick up the mess after that one.
I think Owen and I can do it.
Can we hear you slowly walk out the room and close the door loudly?
Do you want to wear my headphones?
Yeah.
It
I
is kind of weird hearing your own
Yeah,
voice.
okay, I'd rather not do it.
Okay.
I like the sensation of hearing my own voice.
You like a lot of sensations, Patrick.
I do. But who doesn't like a lot of sensations?
Wait, why are you getting up?
I am now sitting in Bryant's seat.
Oh man.
Wow,
Someone has been usurped.
Chair too.
Usurped.
It feels so good to take the throne while he goes on the throne.
We were both like, we looked at each other's eyes and we saw that joke just hanging there, and we went for it.
Patrick, how do you do this every week?
Actually, we haven't done it every week. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we had to rush this one today, because we recorded a bunch of them.
Are you admitting that this feels rushed right now?
No,
The
no.
magic happening between us two?
No, Owen. Of course not. Of course. I'm.
Is this how you talk to all your girlfriends?
Yeah. And it works. It's
Okay.
working right now.
All
I
right.
could tell. I
Wow.
see that glimmer in your eye.
It's nice to know that I'm your number 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I don't know how I fit in there.
You're
but
on the list,
I am on there.
When when athletes are picked in the draft, it doesn't matter if they're number 30 or number 1. They're
It's
picked.
very true.
They're still a millionaire.
Okay. So how do I segue right now without mentioning the Segway that you ride on? The vehicle.
That is something that I don't know what the reasoning for bringing that around was.
You know, I remember all the hullabaloo surrounding that thing and its big unveil. You know, I remember the inventor of it teasing everyone about how it's going to revolutionize the way we travel, the way we move around. And when he finally unveils it, everyone's like, oh.
Yeah, I could see that reaction coming out of people.
Everyone reacted that way.
Are we talking about Segway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when it was first unveiled and everyone's like, eh.
Yeah.
But I
still see them quite often.
Oh
though.
yeah,
like in
mall parking lots.
no, but like even like you know how we're at like FYF Fest, and I see them at like large music things, like where there's a lot of security and like crowd control and stuff. I'll see
true.
dudes just like they go fast too. Like
Right.
Segways, I think can go up to like 20 miles an hour. I see them just flying around on these little.
They're replacing the go-karts there, or the golf carts, not go-karts, golf carts. So do you think inevitably that Tiger Woods will be running around on a Segway on a golf course one day?
It's possible. Wouldn't be the only thing he rode.
He dusty roads it.
Oh, hard times.
But you know,
hard times. Ric Flair, you put me through hard times. You don't even know what hard times are.
I was going to say the problem with the Segway was not its technology. The technology was really good. It's that you looked like a dork when you rode on it.
But does it really improve on any technology?
No.
Are we better having the Segway?
But Steve Jobs has proven that it doesn't have to be revolutionary.
That's true.
You just have to want it. It
Yeah.
just has to be cool.
And that goes back to marketing.
Right.
Dana White, Steve Jobs, Segway inventor.
Yeah, because Steve Jobs has done a good job of making things cool when like every single brand new iPhone is just like incrementally better instead of being outstandingly better.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's just, I think that's day one business, marketing to be a billionaire.
Yeah, because they want you to keep coming back
Yeah.
as a customer.
And people are.
And also, like, you just look so much cooler when you got the new iPhone. It is pretty ridiculous. Did you see how people were, like, camping outside for a phone?
It's pretty sad. Do you know anybody who is an Apple acolyte, totally devoted, like religious devotion?
Becky has an iPhone. She's my sister, Becky. She's had numerous iPhones, but I don't think she's ever got an actual computer.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Does Sheldon have an iPhone?
Nah.
Nah, okay.
I don't think I know any, like, serious, like, Apple fanatics. But I have talked to them, like, stuff at, like, school and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And is it spiritual for them?
I don't know. It makes them feel better about themselves.
It is a little cultish, because they act as if the transformation between the desktop of a PC against the desktop of a Mac
It's
is
a cult of personality.
Yeah, it's just this weird awakening.
Yeah.
It's not really,
Mm-hmm. And it's a status symbol, kind of like designer jeans or something.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a way to impress people. And it doesn't impress me or Patrick.
Oh, no. But, and the thing is, I think what's even more nauseating about it is you see people that shouldn't have an iPhone have an iPhone. Like,
or you mean
kids, or homeless people,
or Big Boss Man.
Yeah, man,
He totally should
He
not
would have
have
had he probably has one in his grave. That jerk.
Well, they took it away after his sexual assault charges. So. Hey, do you remember how you camped outside that one time to get Jimmy Buffett tickets?
Man, the worst day of my life, and that's why he needs to be eliminated.
You're pulling no punches here tonight.
Well,
elimination.
Jimmy Buffett.
This is some pretty Nazi kind of stuff.
Patrick,
Vermin.
Patrick, you know the kind of cougars you can find at a Jimmy Buffett concert?
Yeah, but again,
and they're drunk.
Jimmy Buffett and Segways. What do they add to the collective consciousness of anything?
They add the X Factor. They add the magic
TV show?
we need. No, that magic, that certain something. Je ne sais quoi.
Let me propose a challenge.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay.
This is going to be difficult for you. I know it is.
Oh man.
Now, would you rather spend an entire day with a deadhead or a parrot head?
Deadhead. Because I think deadheads have ethos, whereas parrot heads just have like, yeah, whatever. Or it's not even yeah, whatever, man. It's just this constant search for euphoria.
Can I introduce
Personal
a third
euphoria.
variable
Okay.
to the equation? Christopher Cross fans.
Man, the talent level, it's going all over the map.
Sailing. Do you remember Sailing?
Yeah. Like, he's a talented guy, you know, for what it is.
Okay.
But I think I'd still choose Deadheads, even though it would be it's one of those lesser of three evils situation. How about you, Brian?
I think deadheads probably have gnarly bedhead also.
I actually like messy hair on girls. My girlfriend.
Have you told her that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, she knows.
I like how you had to like fill in that. Where my girlfriend? There's mine. I think I would hang out with the parrot heads because the parrot heads want to party
Yeah.
and have a good time, and the deadheads are too busy like being like self-reflective and talking about the earth and like just being really annoying hippies.
See,
And they're gonna be like badgering you to like grow your own garden and shit, and like tell you that you're not like watering your lawn with the right, like you can't use pharmaceuticals and you have to use natural compounds, and they're just gonna be a total bum out.
Yeah, and you have to drop a lot of acid before their face melts off and you start to enjoy yourself.
but you see, I would counter that with the fact that I have no interest in partying, you know, especially with parrot heads. But with the deadheads, they'd be so weak-willed from profuse drug use that I could just dominate them and become a Charles Manson type figure. I think.
It all goes back to
Death cults.
your Coney-like persona.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is it with you and domination?
It's just how it has to be. A will to power.
Do you like the song "Domination" by Pantera?
No, actually, I can't even think of a second Pantera song I've heard besides "Cowboys from Hell."
Wow, I'm offended.
Well, wait a minute. You remember Rob Van Dam? He always came out to Respect Walk.
Oh, okay. So
Respect Walk.
There's the second
What is
one.
it? Respect?
Yeah,
Or Walk. Or was it just called Walk?
I think it's just called Walk.
called
Yeah.
Walk.
Okay.
Okay.
But he says respect and
But
walk
it's
right next to each other.
WOK.
Walk.
Yeah. Again with the noodles. We go back to the noodle.
Dimebag was a noodler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dime.
No, he was pretty focused.
Yeah, I think he was pretty.
He had a lot of restraint.
Yeah. I think
Not enough restraint, I guess.
I think he was like a shreddier Tony Iommi.
Yeah.
I could buy that, I guess.
His solos were actually pretty focused.
Yeah.
He didn't meander too much.
No.
And then someone shot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, multiple times.
Remember when that happened? Like
Totally
man.
shocked when it happened.
Yeah, I remember. I woke up. You know, I was about to go to school, and Owen had told me what happened, and I just didn't believe him. I'm like, no, that didn't happen. Nobody like shot up.
I could hear Brian's
concert.
voice saying, "No, that didn't happen."
No, because at the time I was a huge Dimebag
Right.
fan,
And you
I
used
even
to dress like him.
and I even had. I still dress like
You
him
just
every
still
once in a
kinda
while.
dress like him.
But I even had a binder
Wow.
that had what I clipped out picture from
Guitar World.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do that too.
Of the dime.
not Dimebag, but yeah, I would do that too.
I had a binder with the dime on it.
But you know that whole incident, and you know, of course, this comparison is going to sound strange for both parties involved, but comparing you know that incident to September 11th as things that you kind of you can imagine them happening, but you never thought it would happen. You like I could definitely see someone going up to some rock star at a concert and shooting them in the face. Because, well, even before it happened, I could have foreseen that happening to somebody.
Do you foresee doing that yourself?
No,
as the
I don't.
shooter?
No, I'm a peace loving, dominating kind of guy.
Okay. You're a Grateful Dead listener.
Yes.
It all goes back to domination.
I was going to say that the guy who shot Dimebag was confused and actually intended to go to a Jimmy Buffett concert. So he shot the wrong man.
And I wasted $500 in that case. No, but wasn't the guy that shot Dimebag, wasn't he upset about some band? Was it?
Yeah.
Well, he was.
What was the name of the other band that was the other guy, the guy from Pantera that left?
Super Joint Ritual.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yeah, but the guy was mainly angry that Pantera broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I guess he felt it was Dimebag's fault or whatever.
It's like McCartney and Lennon splitting up, and you shoot Lennon.
Yeah.
This was shooting Dime, as opposed to the lead singer. What's his name?
Phil Anselmo.
Yeah, as opposed to shooting Phil Anselmo.
Both Paul McCartney and Phil,
they have a lot of
He's in a pod.
yeah.
precise lyricism.
But he
Phil Anselmo's known for his McCartney covers. They're beautiful.
yeah.
Ram, his full album cover of Ram. Oh man.
And how would that sound, Brian?
And the whole project was called Walk. W-O-K.
No, really, how would that sound? Don't you do a Phil Anselmo impression?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
Man.
You
You put him on the spot.
But yeah, he that guy actually tried to kill Dime's brother Vinny too.
He was in the band though, like that, because it wasn't Pantera. Playing.
Yeah, I forget the name. It was called like Power or something.
Was it Damage Plan? Was that?
Yeah, the Damage Plan.
There we go. Yeah, I knew that name sounded familiar.
Yeah, Damage Plan, and it was. Let's see. I think maybe the bass player from Pantera was also in it too. I don't remember, but the guy killed Dime, and he killed like a crew member that had worked with Dime for like 20 years, and he tried to kill Dime's brother, the drummer, Vinny.
Wow.
So yeah, that's intense.
Sad. And buried in a Kiss casket.
Yeah.
My
Gene from
advice is,
Calabasas.
if you're a disturbed asshole, just kill yourself. Don't kill everyone else with you. This is my PSA for tonight. Thank you for listening.
And we have a lot of crazy assholes who listen to this podcast, so
Exactly.
we're trying to help you.
Do you have to
Don't
kill
be like
other
Boss
people
Man.
But we're just
besides
gonna
yourself?
dwindle our audience down to by half probably.
We lost.
By encouraging them to kill themselves.
Now we only have 10 listeners.
Yeah. But
We lost the crazed asshole demographic.
it was a matter of eugenics. We were weeding out the weak ones.
Yeah.
So we can just have a pristine superhuman race of
NPR listeners.
there you go.
The best of the best.
Yeah. None of this.
Basically, we want only the boring ones
Yeah.
listening.
Jimmy Buffett fans.
We want the whole grains of the world listening.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're at about an hour. Yeah.
Does it
Do
feel
we
like
have any,
this is coming to a close?
It never ends. That's my
well,
philosophy.
yeah, but you
It's
say that every
cyclical.
time, and that's pretentious.
No, I just think it's cyclical. We're gonna
I
start
just want
another
to be
podcast.
mean to you, Pat.
Yeah, well, I'm the negative one here, so be mean away.
It's the love hate. I want to smooch you, and then I want to rough you up a little bit.
Kind of like Brock and his wife.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that he hasn't been caught on some sort of domestic violence charge, because he seems like a prime candidate.
Steve Austin chronically beats up his women.
Yeah, and
Well, that's
he
because
doesn't even like half as tough as Brock
Which
Lesnar.
is terrible because I used to look up to him as a paragon of virtue.
I think Steve does it because he's American.
American.
But isn't Brock Lesnar pretty American too?
Stone Cold wouldn't be caught dead with a Coors. And that's the difference between Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold.
But
That was
that's
a
the
Bud
level of America.
I thought it was Bud Light.
Stone Cold was a Bud Light man?
No, it was a
Oh, wait,
Steve. It was a Steve Weiser. No, I that sounds like I made that up, but it's not.
Oh, really? Okay.
They would actually put that on the cans.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think they didn't.
Oh
wanna-
yeah, they couldn't show that on TV.
one of those
brand, or they would have to pay money.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wouldn't it be
Oh,
great if you could go on
Steve
eBay and find that? The Steve Weiser
Yeah,
can?
like he threw it into the audience.
I'm sure
Somebody
you could.
caught a Steve
You
Weiser.
know, I bet if we looked right now, we could
Okay,
probably.
when is your birthday?
July 31st?
So we already missed it.
That's a really lame date.
Actually, you know who my father is one day
Okay, for
younger.
Christmas, you're getting a Steve Weiser can.
I like that. I like that idea. Speaking of birthdays, my father, who I was actually born on his birthday as well, but he is one day younger than the Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
July 30th, 1947. That was his birthday.
And has he ever cheated on your mother with the Mexican maid?
No, but we've never had a maid, so the temptation was never there, I guess.
And also,
To go from a Cuban wife to a Mexican maid is just a real backstab.
Yeah, it is. You wouldn't believe
that-
how big of a backstab it is.
is that a step down?
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends.
To Cubans, it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is you'd be surprised the inherent racism of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Latino community.
That's what's interesting is we in America are probably the most phobic about being racist or being perceived as racist. Whereas throughout the world, if you look at everyone else, they're so blatantly racist.
Yeah.
Chinese hate Japanese.
That's true.
Taiwanese hate Koreans, and there are all sorts of these rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
And then in South America, they all hate each other. And yet we feel reluctant when it comes to our racism.
Yeah, I think in other countries, if you experience racism or you're called racist, like you want to kill the person that did that to you. Whereas with us, you just want to put out a press release that no, that's false. I'm not racist. I did not say that. And stuff like that. It's a cultural thing.
We have no backbone.
Yeah.
We can't be proud racists.
Yeah.
Man.
Only
We're holding
Stone Cold
ourselves
Steve
back.
Austin.
Yeah,
can
don't
be a
say
proud
that.
racist.
Don't say that to Stone Cold Steve Austin about having no backbone.
He's gonna pound a Steve Weiser and go
No,
to town.
yeah. He's gonna say, "Don't trust anybody."
And go to town on Rock's wife.
Oof, man. And they were actually in wrestling together because she was actually a
They
wrestling
were,
ballet.
weren't they, in Ida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sable.
Sable. That's
She's
her.
looking pretty leathery.
Yeah, but she was leathery back then even.
Do you remember one of the chicks? What was her name? Sunny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you seen her lately?
She's been getting into some trouble.
Not only that, she's gotten pretty chunky.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, but that's been a long. It's been a process.
Yeah. It
Proceeding.
usually is.
Yeah, it is.
It's not often you wake
is.
up the next day and you're
but it's
100 pounds heavier.
It's more gruesome in her case, just because the way she looked when say 1996, and
Get ready for the what?
Oh, I thought you were getting ready for the ending. Or do you enjoy the conversation?
Oh,
I didn't mean to interrupt. Okay, go on.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I was trying to do that subtly, but
No,
you were
I mean-
in the moment.
well, no.
I was so entranced by your sign language that I had to stop.
Was I pointing?
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah, I was trying to suggest to you that we're ready to wrap it up, but I guess we weren't.
I thought we would do it formally, like good night, everybody. Not
Okay.
just like hit the stop button, just out of nowhere.
Well, we were in the thick of this conversation. I just wanted to suddenly hint to you that we're getting ready, but apparently not.
Well, you threw everybody off. He was in the middle of a story.
I know.
See,
Well,
this
I
is
didn't
why you
intend
shouldn't be
for
in
it-
the captain's chair.
"Ooh,
I just wanted a better angle at the microphone. Okay, that's all I wanted. I'm getting up.
Last minute change.
I love watching brothers."
By the way,
scuffle.
Owen and
Indian leg
Pryant,
wrestle right now.
we share a microphone. We just gave away a secret.
Trade secret.
A trainee secret. Victoria's Secret.
Secret of the ooze. Oh man, that was awesome on my part.
Have you ever seen Cool as Ice?
Secret of Mana?
I have heard about it.
You've heard about it? You've got to see it.
I
You got to go one step further and go from hearing about it to seeing it.
I've seen a clip. Like it's one of those movies that's on TV. Like on regular TV every now and then. And I've seen one scene where he's talking to, I guess, his girlfriend, and he's like leaning against the truck all cool, and it just looks so bad that I can't bear to keep
It's
it on.
awesome. The designs on the sides of his head are beautiful.
Are they different than the ones from his prime?
No, I don't think so.
What was that movie in his prime? Or
Of sorts, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it was only a year or two after his big hit.
oh, okay.
It was after he had become a household name,
Yeah, well,
when moms and daughters alike were talking of this great Vanilla Ice character
Be honest.
We're talking about Roger Daltrey, right?
from
Son
Southeast County.
of Roger Daltrey, Vanilla Ice. but be honest. Were you guys fans of Vanilla Ice?
I
No.
only know one song. I don't know how you can
That's
call
all you
yourself-
needed.
No, I always thought he was laughable. I never thought he was cool. I
I-
thought Michael Jackson was super cool, but I never thought he was cool. I thought he was just a lame-o.
See, with Michael Jackson, I never thought he was cool, but I definitely I inherently had him in that category of being, an icon, I guess, even though he wasn't
Yeah.
really icon status just yet. He was getting there, but he was in my world, he was, near what the Rolling Stones or, Tina Turner or something would have
Yeah,
been.
or Big Boss Man.
Yeah, except he was
I
terrible.
He was the inverse.
But go ahead, Brian.
I just stick with the Steve Weiser,
yeah.
the Stevenator.
This has been a good episode.
Wow. We're gonna end on awkward silence.
Absolutely.
Should we do on 3?
Does Owen know what to do on 3?
No, what's our word? We have a
Well, it's a
password?
phrase.
We have a phrase?
Yeah.
What is it?
You obviously haven't listened to the last 3 podcasts, Owen.
Are we doing it in Francais or English?
Just the mutter.
Let's see.
the mutter.
The mutter.
Mud-
Yeah, the modern mutter.
All right. We'll see if Owen catches on.
Okay.
So on 3.
Are you down?